Go ahead.
Yeah, we back to 3 Straight G's with yours truly, Greg Blackson, Spilled Bad Ice, Ariel Kaylani. So,
Carlos B. Dog.
Palmer and Letourneau visit them for a shocking experience. So, UFC 193, Jared Roshaw, Stephen Struve. One of you guys talk about it. I can't do it.
Sorry. I just was thinking about the Jared Roshaw Stephen Struve fight and ooh, man. Look, Roshaw.
That's why you have your pajamas on.
I know. I wore my pajamas specifically
for this
to talk about this fight in case I fall asleep talking about it.
Basically, I mean, it did it to everybody, man. You know, Roshaw was a great collegiate wrestler, but he is the prime example of why not so many fans get behind wrestlers, because there's too many of them who use their wrestling to take guys down, which is great, but then don't inflict any damage. They don't try to go for submissions. There's two guys who I really loved as wrestlers on the ground, and that was Matt Hughes and Randy Couture. Randy will
Tito
beat you.
too.
You know what? Make that
Tito
3.
too.
Tito as well. They will take you down and beat you up. Matt Hughes would just submit you because he had that country boy strength, and if he grabbed something, an arm, leg, or choke, he got you. But those guys were active fighting wrestlers on the ground. Roshaw constantly would just lay on top. I understand Struve, you know, he's very active from the bottom, so everything's not open, but he had way too many opportunities to throw body shots, some head shots, be a little bit more active, and it's a prime example of why he's always going to be in that lower tier of heavyweight, because he's just not taking the next step to be that better of a fighter.
Yeah.
So
and we talked about this when we did our trial run. I talked about it, how, if you recall, how he takes people down and does nothing. You remember I talked about that.
Yeah.
And at some point, I kind of feel like it's on the refs too. You know, you're the referee. You have the most control in that fight, you know, right after the fighters. You know, the fighters choose what they do and don't do, but right behind them is the ref. The refs have to start doing something about this.
There was a point go ahead.
It's like, you see all this cage grabbing.
Yeah.
You know, it changes the whole complex of a fight. You see guys losing, might get the takedown, that could change something. Guys grab the cage, don't get taken down. Or guys always poking people in the eyes, or guys laying on people. The refs have to take control and start standing people up when they aren't doing anything, or start deducting points when they're grabbing the cage or the stuff. And you will see, just like this whole thing with them testing for steroids, is going to change the whole complex of fights when you're taking these ways of cheating and stalling away from people, because that's not a fight. And the scary part about it is Roshaw actually could get pretty far in the heavyweight division just from laying on people.
He really did.
And that's not a fight. Nobody wants to see that. It was boring. And then on Struve's part, I talked about that too. He just doesn't know how to use his reach.
Not at
all. He could have kept him away. He just doesn't. He needs a better striking coach or something. It was a terrible fight.
He looked particularly bad tonight. I mean,
He did.
He just didn't show up. I don't know what.
He trained with Vitor.
Did he? Get out of here.
Well, he trains with Brazilians. He trains with Brazilians.
He does, actually, yeah.
So,
and
He got trained with Vitor.
That whole camp outside of Anthony Johnson is not looking good right now.
Why did his whole jiu-jitsu game disappear?
It really did. He kept talking about how he's so good from the bottom and wasn't doing anything.
Dude, he didn't even upkick Adam.
He did one time. I think it was either in the end of the second or in the middle of the third. He got one good up kick, and that was it.
Yeah, he did. I remember that.
That was it.
The rest of the time he was just down there like this.
Stephen Struve beat Stipe Miocic, and now tonight he just what was that? He didn't, he didn't use. It's like he's getting worse with using his sling.
He's got
his
the right failures.
Maybe.
That just goes to show you. He beat Miocic, and look how he looked today. That just goes to show you, from fight to fight, it's all different. You can't go off of, well, he did this, so that means, nope, every single fight is different. There was a point.
They have to progress.
They have to progress. He looked like he regressed.
Yeah, exactly. Drastically.
Badly.
The thing is, with that amount of height and reach, I
can
understand when he was new. Because a lot of tall people have trouble with that. Like I was saying before, they don't fight long, they fight tall.
Yeah.
But your coaches should start fixing this. And dude, when you're that tall and long, your ground game should be on point.
It really should.
And for him to he couldn't even get half guard back half the time.
Not even. And
It was bad.
And when we're talking about Rousey, there was a portion in the fight, I believe it was either in the middle of the first or in the second, where he had side control and the ref did stand him up. He said, hey, come on, stand up. And Joe Rogan on commentating, Joe Rogan is very knowledgeable, but one of the things I don't like is the ref stood him up and Joe said, why is the referee standing him up? He's in side control, which is a dominant position. Yeah, we get that, Joe, but this isn't a wrestling match. This isn't a grappling tournament. This is a fight. You gotta be active, and if you're only gonna hold a dominant position, but inflict no damage,
that's not
why not stand him up?
In a grappling competition, that might be a dominant position. You get points for getting side control. This isn't a jiu-jitsu, sambo, or catch wrestling competition, judo, nothing. A fight, the number one criteria should be damage.
Yeah.
If you aren't doing any damage, you have to reset it. And then, of note, I don't know if you guys heard, Mark Lehman was high. He was telling Rousey to beat Daniel Cormier the whole goddamn fight. First, you got a white dude and a black dude. How are you gonna just change race, first of all? And that ain't even good instruction.
They had a racial draft?
Do the DC. I'm like, what is he talking? You know, maybe that's a move. Because you know he named his moves strange things like Eddie Bravo, but then I just realized he literally wanted him to change goddamn races. And come on, these cornermen got to do something.
Yeah, better luck. Yeah, he would have had better luck telling him to do the Dougie or something. I mean, seriously. You know, sometimes
you can teach somebody how to Dougie.
You could teach somebody how to Dougie. Now, it may not be great, but you can't teach someone how to fight like somebody else if it's not in them. And no, it just wasn't there.
Let me stop you. He didn't tell him to fight like him. He told him to be him, like Morph out of X-Men. It was something going on. And then Joe Rogan was high too. He was like, yeah, look at Stephen Struve, and the crowd's yelling, he got his hands behind his head. I was like, there was something going on.
He's on the boomerang lead, man.
That's true.
That is true, man.
Put another shrimp on the Barbie.
Plus, you know, the crowd was letting them know their appreciation of the fact by sending in some booze. Because, you know, fans want to see fights.
Did it weird you out how quiet the Australians were? They were like almost as quiet as the Japanese. It was
in a sense
they were
it
high
did.
too.
In a sense it did, but then I attributed that to maybe because it's in an arena. So maybe because it's more spread out. Just like at AT&T Stadium, sometimes it's hard to hear the fans because it's so spread out. Had they been in a normal 20 to 30,000 seat arena, maybe it would have been rocking and rolling, but
Need to get a acoustics expert in here.
that is true. We should try to look
Get
for
one
that
on
for
staff
next
next
Speaking
show.
of sound and noise, let's go to Robert Whittaker, Uriah Hall,
man.
Ariel Kalani. Start this.
You know, when we did our trial run, one of the things I said was Uriah Hall's got all the tools, got all the makings to be a really good fighter. One problem: inconsistency. For some reason, one reason or another, Uriah doesn't come to fight every single time at the level that he should. Watching this, you know, Whittaker, good game plan, came out there and really performed. But Uriah had a chance to come out here and really make a statement and say, my win over Mousasi was just the beginning of my ascent to the top of the middleweight division. It seemed like he took the first 2 rounds to just say, whatever, you know. I'm out here, let me look good, I'll throw a nice little spin kick in here for y'all. And then in the 3rd round, when he finally got anxious, he was rocking Whittaker a little bit. Why didn't he do that the 1st round?
Yeah.
Why didn't you do that the 2nd round?
I agree. You know, it's just the 3rd round, it took him to get mad to show what he had. And as soon as he got mad, he was hitting flying knees, head kicks, you know, spinning back kick, everything, and he just rocked him. He rocked him like 2-3 times in the 3rd round alone. But before that, it was kind of like he was overthinking the danger that Whittaker presented. And the part where I knew his mental was off is when he got punched and said he got poked in the eye. You know, that's a mental lapse.
We were all looking at that and said, wait,
you know,
how's that happen?
But that's true, that's a mental lapse. You know, that's a break in your mind at that point, and that's not a good sign. That means he's unfocused. You know, and it showed. And then at one point, he threw, as Spill calls it, spinning shit, and wasn't nobody there. Whittaker was like over by the ref, looking at him, and he was over here doing spinning shit. And I was like, it was like he was fighting the ghost of himself. You know, I was like, come on, this. And I like Uriah, you know, I've trained with him, but You know, he just got to let go sometimes.
I guess
you know?
Whittaker didn't get to read the part of the script where he has to stand right in front of him so that move could look better.
How did you feel about that fight, Spiel one?
It wasn't surprising how it played out. I mean, you know, it's true though. He's Hall is. It seemed like he was on an upward trajectory, and then he just kind of dropped the ball a bit in this fight. And Whittaker, on the other hand, that guy's just rock solid. Always kind of comes in, puts on a show, great footwork and great striking and tough as nails. So he's never like, you don't see that guy have a bad night. He's just kind of slowly but steadily improving.
And and speaking of progression, you know, because remember I picked Whittaker to win, and I think you did. Did you pick him or you're right? You picked
I said I was giving Hall a slight edge based on his
Actually,
latest.
I picked Uriah.
You picked Uriah? I thought you picked Whittaker. Well, I picked Whittaker, Great Blacks and Great Blacks.
Well, the hard thing is that, like I said, my blackness won't allow me to pick.
You know what? Here's the thing, speaking of progression though, he lost to Stephen Thompson by head kick. And this time, you see, he was checking kicks and blocking kicks better. So it shows he worked on things to fix his flaws. And I like that about him. So that was a good match. Next, Super Samoan Mark Hunt. Okay, was I the only one that saw his hair down the hair like Goku, Super Saiyan 3? Because he threw a punch that missed and the chakra knocked out Bigfoot.
He didn't miss. He didn't miss it. Nicked the top of the head. You know, with the nerve and the neurological system in the brain.
The chakra hit the top of the
head. You know,
head.
when the stars align, it's Australia, the time zone, and the down under, and
the chakra hit the key,
the high altitude,
the Ryatsu, whatever you want to call it.
The force.
It hit. It was like he was the new Sith out of the new Star Wars coming out, and he did just hit him with the force. We did it in slow mo. We looked at it again. Remember, Spill, and it looked like it didn't hit.
Well, it was obviously a grazing punch, but that just goes to show the awesome power of the super motherfucking Samoan.
You know, he trained in AK Thailand with Mike Swick, and then you guys, next year I'm going to Thailand. So will I come back with the force?
You might just come back, man. You're gonna be a bad man if you come back like that.
Or a couple lady boys.
Or that too.
I wonder if the lady boys were responsible for the force.
Hey,
like he had to fight them off day in for 3 days straight.
You never know.
Maybe, you never know.
Develop that power.
I mean, you saw The Hangover 2. It's not called Bang Pussy. It's called Bang Cop. So you never know. But look, we've seen. Remember when JDS knocked out Mark Hunt with the spinning heel kick that no one ever saw? It did the same thing. Grazed literally the top of his head and just got. There is just certain points on your body, top of the head, behind the ear, top of the ear, right here on the high jawline. You don't even have to hit a lot of force on it, but if you crack it, it's night time.
He's watched a lot of Kung Fu movies.
I'm sure
here's the thing though, guys. Bigfoot, right? What's up with Bigfoot anyways? Because sometimes he has a chin, a hell of a chin, and then sometimes he doesn't.
Remember, I said that. I said for whatever reason, he'll get knocked out 2-3 times in a row, and then when he takes on somebody who's supposed to knock him out easily, that's when his chin shows up and says, "Hey man, I'm with you today."
It's a separate entity.
I don't know, man.
Picks and chooses when it wants to be there, just like a woman. And he needs to get a new reliable one.
He needs to trade it in for a better one?
It does. Sometimes that's what you gotta do. You know what I mean? He rolling with the wrong one.
He got to, right?
Now he rolling with the wrong one.
Maybe he need to promote the side chick or something, or maybe he need to go out there and, I don't know, to get loosey-goosey with it and find something better. But, Bigfoot Silva, very talented fighter. But yeah, sometimes it just ain't there for him, brother.
Mark Hunt for world champion.
Hey, how great is his story, by the way? How great is his story? The UFC didn't even want him there. They said, "Hey, we will buy you out." He said, "Nah, I'll come over there and fight." And said, "You know what? I'm actually try this time." And look at what he's done so far.
Yeah.
Almost became a champion at one point. So his story is one of the greatest in all the sports, not just MMA, but in all the sports. I really do hope whenever he hangs it up, man, they do a 30 for 30 or a slight documentary, because that's a hell of a damn story.
I like that. It shows you, man. It shows you how far self-belief goes.
It really does.
He could have took an easy patient.
And training. He
and
was training his ass off for this fight.
Yeah.
And did you see him after the fight? He was talking for like 20 minutes. Usually he's like, that was great. Good
You know what? He was the leanest he's ever been.
So he was usually out of breath after a fight and he couldn't do a speech. Now he was going on and on.
He controlled his chakra. He Super Saiyan 3. Super Saiyan 3 Mark Hunt, man. Can't nobody see him.
He can do anything now.
He can. Next we gotta go.
Stop her.
Johanna, just run it.
Okay.
You see this cameraman? We gotta.
Trying to tell you what to do.
I know.
But I
We
mean,
the host of this show.
Cameraman.
that is true. Camera, yeah, man, we might get an EO complaint about that.
What's going on?
Might have to talk to,
I know. We're gonna have to deduct this from her paycheck.
Cameraman?
What, she got a
We
paycheck?
Johanna, Jedrzejczyk, Valerie Letourneau. I loved it.
Yeah.
You know what? It should. Nobody gave Valerie a chance, which don't make any sense. I knew she would give her a fight. Remember, I talked about that, and you guys felt the same, that she would give her a fight.
Yeah.
She gave her a hell of a fight, and I actually think she could have won that fight. It was times when Johanna seemed to be slowing down, but Valerie, it was like she put the car in neutral
Yeah.
and never pressed the gas.
No, you're right. You're right.
And the thing is, she didn't look tired. You know, I saw more tired out of Johanna than her, but it was just like she was cool to coast it. And that's what caused her the fight, you know? And that's all there was to it. I just feel like she should have more urgency, you know?
When you get cracked upside the head and your overbone breaks and this stuff is popping out, I mean, that could also play into your mindset there, because now that's bothering you, that's in the back of your mind, or rather in the front of your mind. But yeah, you're right. There was times where, and see, this just goes to show you, when you're in the big stage, the co-main event, you're going after a title, this is part of being able to pull the trigger. When the champ is a little gassed, maybe slowing down a little bit at times, can you be the one to apply the pressure? Can you be the one to pull the trigger? That's what separates the good from the great from the superstars. So, you know, this was her first chance at it. Maybe she'll work her way back up to it. Maybe she'll readjust. But yeah, this was a lot more competitive than what people thought. But kudos to Johanna Jedrzejczyk, man. She proved, even in a tough fight, she's the real deal. She can hold her own.
Yeah, that was a good fight. And then as far as the orbital being broke, Valerie, that's like part of her normal fights.
Yeah.
She needed to move her goddamn head. If I saw her without a broke eye, I'd be weirded out. I'd be like, that ain't her. I feel like this is something. You know?
That was a hell of a fight. And I was impressed that both of them seemed, you know, it was a grueling fight, and they both kind of pressed forward and never gave up. And the difference, though, was Valerie just got sloppy when she got near the end, when she started losing her gas. She kept pushing. She was trying, but she just wasn't landing like she was earlier in the fight. You know, she was getting a little wild, a little sloppy, whereas Johanna was just, you know, still on point. Just able to keep chipping away. And, you know, I would say one of the refs, judges gave all the rounds to.
Yeah,
and the first round, obviously, I think Valerie won.
Yeah,
So,
it shows you they need
second
to
round was
fix a
very
lot.
close, but from there it was all
Johanna. You know what? I actually thought Valerie landed her cleaner shots when she was getting wild in the pocket.
Yeah.
You know, when she started playing that outside game, you know what I mean?
She was getting picked apart.
Yeah, she hit half a reused kick on her damn face. You know, it just wasn't where her game was. She never tried to mix it up for takedowns. I like the first round when she was bullying her against the cage and everything. And she just seemed to go against a game plan that would have probably worked, you know?
Physically, Valerie was bigger and stronger. So yeah, you're right. She would apply that more, grind her out, maybe work on Johanna Jedrzejczyk. Because maybe it was just me, but I felt when they were in tight, not only was she landing cleaner shots, I also felt like she was landing the harder shots.
Yeah.
I felt like whenever she hit Johanna clean, you would kind of see Johanna would back up a little bit. And I said, uh-oh, you know, this might be the ones where if she backs up and her hands are just slightly low, she might get nicked on the chin and drop. But you know, and when she got the takedown, she did an excellent job. You probably saw it where she hooked her outer leg, her I think it was her right leg.
Yeah.
When Valerie took her down, she kept the hold on
kept her down.
and kept her down the entire time. And that's just to go to show. Sometimes when you take them down, it's not about holding around the waist or up high. Sometimes, hey, you lock up a damn leg, they're not going any damn
And you
where.
know what, too? The thing is, she caught the kick well.
Yeah.
But that slow, no sense of urgency, she just never really was trying to like take her down with it. It was just like somebody put bubble gum on her feet and she was just not moving, you know, and I didn't even hear her coaches. You know, you have to have a sense of urgency as a coach, and they didn't do that, and I feel that cost her the fight. But
whenever you take on a champion, you got to go out there and beat the champion. You can't just win. You got to beat the champion. You got to inflict your will. And like I said earlier, that might just be a lesson learned to her because it was her first go around at a championship bout. That next time out, she's going to be a little bit more urgent and pushing the pace a little bit more.
I think they'll fight again for sure. Her, Claudia Gadelha, and Johanna seem to be the top three.
Oh man, you know Gadelha was there licking her chops and saying, "Oh, I'm gonna jack you up again when we meet." Because she was there looking at Valerie get off some good shots on the inside, and Gadelha, I believe, hits harder than Valerie. So she's definitely looking at it and saying, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna prove to people that the first time we fought, they shouldn't have gave it to you."
Yeah, I thought she won the first fight personally, but we got to go to the main event.
Should we do another segment on this? Should we stop and then just do a whole new one so we could talk about it more in depth?
Stop it.